welcome back to my channel where I help people with insomnia who have tried absolutely everything to get more sleep and nothing seems to work to get more sleep. In today's video, I have 3 tips for you to help you get better sleep. I had insomnia for 30 years. It took me that long to figure out how to overcome it. It is possible for you too, and I have 3 tips for you today that I haven't talked about a lot in my previous video, so I thought I would talk about them here today. So let's go ahead and get started. So tip number 1 is to take a brain break. When was the last time that you just sat down, allowed your mind to just go with all your thoughts, think about everything, let your mind wander, let yourself think about everything that you feel like. You're not looking at your phone, there's chickens fighting next to me, you're not reading a book, you're not scrolling on the computer, you're not playing on TikTok, you're not scrolling through reels and posts. You just sat there, nothing in your hands to do, and just allowed yourself to think. Well, turns out this is really important for our brain health, for productivity, for focus, mood. There's just so many benefits to it. Now, if you go to bed and you have a racing mind, this can be really helpful. A lot of times we don't give our brain time to really process everything from the day. And then when we go to lie down, all of a sudden we don't have our phones in front of our face. We don't have a computer, or we're not watching TV, or we're not doing something. And our brain is starting to think about everything from the day and process all the information, and then it makes it really difficult to sleep. So it's really easy to implement. All you have to do is take at least once a day, ideally maybe a few times throughout the day, where you just sit there. You're not scrolling on TikTok, you're not reading, you're not doing anything. Just sit there. I like to sit in nature and do it. Come sit in my backyard with the greenery around. And just sit there relaxed and allow my mind to wander, allow it to think, allow it to process things. I know for me, this was new to me because I always practiced meditation, where every time you have a thought, you bring it back to your focus on your breath. That was the meditation I did. Whenever you had thoughts, again, you go back to the breath. I never allowed my mind to actually process those thoughts. Yes, meditation is super helpful. Mindfulness practices are very helpful, but it's also really helpful to just allow your mind to think, process the thoughts from the day, so that when you go lay down in bed, all those thoughts aren't coming up. Again, just choose some moments throughout the day where you can just sit there and allow them to happen. Now, I do want to make sure I point out a couple of reasons that you could be having a racing mind at night. First off is exactly what we just talked about. You're not giving your brain and your mind time to process the information throughout the day, so it's coming out at night. As soon as you lay down, you don't have anything in your hand. But when you have insomnia, you experience sleep anxiety and a racing mind. Those are all symptoms that come together because your brain thinks there's danger. That anxiety and the racing mind are danger signals, basically. And if we try to ignore them, we try to push them away, your brain thinks you aren't listening, so it's going to amplify things and make them even more intense and make your mind race even more. Now, by allowing yourself to be with your thoughts and not try to push them away, you are showing your brain that you are safe. Now, my next tip is going to be another way to show your brain even more that you are listening. Before we move on, if you want to learn even more tips on how to overcome insomnia, my best tips to have the strategies and the steps that you need to overcome insomnia, then definitely watch my free Insomnia Crash Course. The link is in the description below. As I mentioned, doing brain breaks are great to show your brain that you are listening and that you aren't trying to ignore the danger signals. So another strategy that you can use on top of the brain breaks is doing a brain dump. This one I've talked about a little bit more in my videos and on my posts on Instagram, but I'm going to go over it again here because it is really important. So basically, a brain dump is anytime you are just basically getting everything out in your mind, everything that you're thinking about, and getting it out on paper. It's basically taking things to the next level. Yes, it's great to sit there and allow your mind to think, but you can take it one step further and start to write everything down on paper. All I want you to do, find some time to sit when you have some privacy, you're not going to be interrupted, pull out a piece of paper, pull out a workbook, a journal, whatever you like, and just write down every thought you have. Every single thing that's going on in your mind. You could also just put the thoughts of the more negative thoughts, or the thoughts that don't make you feel good, like your worry-based thoughts, your fear-based thoughts, things that are giving you pressure to sleep specifically. These are things that we work on inside my sleep makeover program. But you're basically just getting everything out on paper. You can do everything or just the thoughts that don't make you feel well. And that alone can really help you feel better because you're getting things out on paper, but you're also showing the brain that you are listening. So your brain isn't amplifying things because it thinks you're not listening. So get it all out on paper. There's no right or wrong. There's no rules. Just the more you get it out for as long as you like, the better. And of course, you can take that one even one step further by reframing all those negative thoughts in those papers. I've talked about this in previous videos. Honestly, off the top of my head, I can't remember which one it is. But I have talked about it in multiple videos, so you've probably already seen it before if you've seen my previous videos. So take those thoughts, reframe them to something that feels just a little bit better. Another really great tip is to find some joy in your life every single day. Too often when we have chronic insomnia, we're having sleep issues, we sit at home, we don't feel like going out, we don't feel like doing anything. Our mind goes with this fear, this worry, thinking about how you feel like crap and this isn't fair and all these negative thoughts that make you feel even worse. You're feeling emotional, and this all has a negative effect on your sleep at the end of the day, by the way. Instead, I recommend finding something every single day that you can do to bring joy into your life. Even if it's something as small as taking a 5-minute walk. Anything. I know you feel like crap. I did too. I went through all this as well. But finding things that bring you joy, give you a little bit more energy. You feel better in your mood. You can get a little bit of a boost of energy, like if you're getting out into nature, getting out and getting some sunlight and walking. One thing that's really important to understand is the more focus that we put on our sleep, more focus and attention that we put on our insomnia, the worse it's gonna get. I always get this saying wrong, but focus and attention to insomnia is like oxygen to the body. It can't survive without it. I'm sure I said that completely wrong, but basically, the more focus and energy you put onto the insomnia, the more it's going to thrive. The bigger it's going to get, the worse it's going to get. So take that focus off the insomnia. Take the attention away and do something else. Focus on something that you enjoy in your life. Anytime you can take your focus away from your sleep, the better off you're going to be. You're not going to be able to problem solve and research and do all these things throughout the day to make yourself sleep better. It's not going to help you in the long run. Sitting there and thinking about how terrible you feel and how unfair this is and how horrible this isn't going to help you. It's only going to make things worse, mentally, physically, and in your sleep. Find some joy. And I want you to tell me below one thing that you're going to do that brings you joy. Also, don't forget to watch my free Insomnia Crash Course. The link is in the description below. And I will see you in the next video.